Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Aloha Pools and Spas Deep Dive Podcast. Again, one of the mini special podcasts that we're doing from the Expo that we're kind of releasing ahead of schedule, and you'll see them. I hope you're enjoying them. I'm John Watts today with Brad Cook, and we've got Craig Petermeyer. I took your. Usually I have him introduce people, but he actually put the card in front of me right now.
From Outdoor Creations. I was walking through the trade show, and I saw you guys, and I thought I knew Jennifer had been working with somebody or knew somebody that she recommended, and you guys didn't really. I don't think she knows exactly who you are,
right.
But maybe you guys have worked behind us at some point. We've only been in this market for about 4 years, but we just got a store that we're trying to get completed here at 105 Auto Court Drive in O'Fallon. So, out there where
right.
we are. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
By Home Depot and
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're really slow go getting it going, and actually going to do some repainting and all that. So, but we've been talking to people anywhere from sunroom people, deck, fences. We even talked
Solar
solar guy a few minutes ago. And would love to be able to have time. I don't have time to talk to everybody here, but it's having some really fascinating conversations and just learning about different trades. But there's one thing for sure: when we get through with the yard, it really needs a landscaper.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it needs a fence, and some people need decks and things like that as well, depending on the type of pool that they get from us. So wanted to get a landscape guy in and just come in and just hear from yourself. And she recommended that I talk to your company, and so you're the owner, I understand.
Yes.
And,
yes, I am.
So tell me, kind of how did you get into this business, and tell me about your journey through life and up to this point.
At 15, my neighbor had a small landscape company in '91. I needed a summer job. Started doing that.
Right.
Kept escalating. Then early 2000s went out on my own and just kind of kept growing from there.
Right.
And now we do a lot of landscaping, shrubs, lighting, but we do a lot of paver patios, pool decks, fireplaces, a lot of hardscape work too.
Yeah, he was telling me that on the walk up this way, that the pavers, and I'll tell you that I love building pools, and we do concrete. I hate to say the word necessary evil, but I mean we're pool people by trade, and we're concrete people by necessity.
Right.
And we've just never got into that paver side of the business. But when I see some of our pools with your pavers,
right,
with pavers on it, they are absolutely drop dead. They're more expensive, sure.
It is,
but
we've done several with travertine, which is 60% cooler than concrete.
Yeah.
Did some porcelain tile. That's very expensive, just the time that it takes. A lot of the new pavers are cooler to touch. They're built for pool decks, anti-slip. But you just get that unique look to it instead of just concrete. And then several pools we've done, we just put travertine coping around, and then the pool company will pour concrete
behind it.
That way you get that cool deck along the edge.
Where you sit.
Yes. And
it controls costs a little bit.
Yes, it does.
How does that, honestly, how does that turn out looking to you?
So we've got some pictures I can always post, but it turns out very nice.
Okay.
Especially the straight pools are a lot nicer. I mean, some people get a lot of curves, takes a lot of cutting, but it really makes that pool pop.
Speaking of that, the cutting that I heard a guy we have a guy that's a project coordinator that just started with a company, but he came from California, and he's telling me that they were milling travertine and making it curved. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
Okay.
We cut everything to fit. And,
and you kind of you got a straight piece, and it to make a pie shape out of it. And you work your way around a pool, which I think is probably a lot more labor intensive.
It is,
and looks good. Looks good in the end. Were we talking above your head?
Oh well, yeah. I was just about
to.
So
during the solar
I'm the dumb guy that doesn't know anything. I'm the marketing guy. So I'm a homeowner, but landscaping to me is filling up the mower and spending a Saturday afternoon right now. Like, I've had landscapers come out to other homes I've had or whatever. We just bought this place and we haven't even finished everything, But what's travertine? Hold on. Now we've got so you may be the winner. So hold on. This happens.
Happens every freaking time.
Yeah.
Not every time.
Every other podcast, I'd say. Every other one we've done.
The Jan.
Can you remember what you were saying?
Again, if
Oh, yeah, I know exactly.
Michelle Johnson or Jan Hill, please come to the front of the building.
Come to the
Claim your
front. Someone,
prize.
a small child has been lost. All right. So, what is it? Travertine.
So travertine is a natural stone. They actually mine it. Like the stuff at my house came from Turkey.
Oh.
They also have some in Mexico. It's 60 to 65% cooler than concrete naturally. It's just a natural. If it's a 95-degree day, you can walk around barefoot. It feels very smooth, but there's enough texture to it as far as anti-slip. Now it's just like anything else. If there's a big puddle of water and you're running around, maybe, but you can walk around with wet feet, no problem. But it's just a cool touch, and it looks a lot more expensive than what it is. I mean, it's pricier, but when you see it, when I told my wife we were going to do it on ours, obviously I had no labor to pay. It makes our pool look a whole lot more expensive than what it is. It just gives it that actual extra pop to it.
I actually bought 6,000 feet of it for about $1.99 a foot back in like 2020 or 2021.
Yes.
Because this company had a deal on it. Now, that's a pretty good deal, right?
That is a very good deal.
Yeah. And for the pool area around at my house, that never got built. So I'm still sitting on it. I got about 200 feet of bull nose,
right?
Hoping, and I hope it's several pallets sitting over there at Little John. Yeah.
Well, it's a good investment then.
Yeah, well, maybe so, right? And I just hope to get to use it sometime. So yeah, so suffice it to say that I'm a fan,
right?
A fan of that work.
It just makes the pool look a lot classier, and some people don't realize they want that, but then they look and they decide that, hey, I don't mind spending the money. It's just like anything else in the house. You're going to dress it up. You might as well dress up the backyard, because that's what everybody wants, is that wow factor in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you might spend another $20,000, but when you're already spending what it takes to do a backyard.
That's right.
I mean.
And I'm going to put you on the spot, but I'll give you definitely a way out, because I know that the cost per square foot is not necessarily the travertine. It's the access, and it's the manual labor, and it's the prep work, and it's the elevation out of level and the rock and all that. But if you were to give somebody an idea of how expensive it is compared to concrete, what would you say?
So I'm not even sure what concrete's going for per square foot now.
Anywhere from, I'll say this, it's around $12.50 to $15 a square foot. Yeah.
So travertine, the biggest thing with travertine around a pool, you can put it on a rock base.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do a big area, you really want to put it on concrete. So now you're going to have the cost of concrete on top of it. Best case scenario, probably $35 a square foot if it's easy access and pretty straight.
With rock?
With rock.
Okay.
If you throw concrete in, you're going to be closer to that 45, 50 range.
Right,
then.
okay.
But standard pavers are going to run. And, I mean, the square foot is a hard thing to ever say you're really going to be close to that, because every job is different and every type of paver. But I would say travertine is going to be at least $10 a square foot more than pavers. Pavers are going to be probably 2.5 to 3 times as much as concrete. If you're at the 12, you can do a nice paver for that 30 range, but you'll be 35 for a higher end.
And you do travertine. You've got a paver company. You buy your pavers from.
We buy everything. We can bullnose our own. We've got the saws to cut it. Porcelain tiles become a big thing too. That's a lot more intense as far as labor. Pavers are the biggest, the best bang for your buck. Pavers.
I've seen the porcelain tile people have been marketing to me for some time now, and I actually gave in and I inquired, and so I don't know if I've quit receiving emails on it or not, but it looks, it's drop dead, but it's even another level up. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. My first porcelain tile job was 3,000 square feet, and I shot myself in the foot on that one.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Thought it would go a little faster.
50. Oh, well, really? What's the difference in getting it
Well,
laid?
normally, like cutting pavers, we go through one diamond. Well, as far as a diamond blade, we'll go through about 5 a year. We went through 6 on that job.
Okay.
And it
Yeah.
took 3 times as long to cut. It's very hard, very dense. The cutting time just didn't realize it.
Okay, and I'm talking shop here, and I apologize, but is that a $200 blade or?
They're right around that, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know because I was rounding up to what we pay for concrete saw blades,
Right.
thinking they're about 100. I had
Yeah,
bought
they're right
one
around.
personally in a while. But
Yeah, they're right around $200.
Yeah.
But, yeah. When you figure it was going to take 1 and it takes 6.
yeah, there you go.
So
it runs out.
porcelain is a very high end, but for the most part, the pavers are the best bang for your buck because you don't have to pour concrete, and they're a very durable product. They've come a long way as far as the look and
Right.
everything. So
You know, one thing I was talking to my guys about, we went to a brick form training, and it really they didn't have pavers there. It was all about concrete. But while we were all together in a group, and I said, you know what, guys, in the wintertime when we can't pour concrete, we could lay pavers. You know, we don't know how to, but you know,
Right.
it's just, we've got we've got a decent construction skill set. You got to get stuff level and all.
Right.
But then we will lay some work around the top of the pool. But the salesperson was talking to me the other day about getting. He said he's got one of you from Tennessee to come do his work, do the work, and he said you guys want to do the bullnose work, and I said no, Larry, if they want to do the bullnose work, I want them to do it.
Right.
I want the pool, obviously, but that I'm just saying that sometimes the paver guy doesn't want the bullnose work because of all the cutting. They want to blow and go, and,
Right.
And so I just said we would do it if they wanted to, but yeah. So you like to do your own
yes,
bullnose paver?
we would rather do that. I've got a guy that really enjoys the hardscape. He phenomenal cuts, things like that, so
Yeah.
he can handle all that. But that way we know it's done the way we want it.
In all fairness, in my situation, I would, you and I have work something out, or with the customers, we typically don't contract out and mark it up. We just
Right.
try to put the thing together. I would rather you do it. Just that way,
Right.
you got one person to
That's what we like.
kind of, yeah,
Just one person in, and that way if there's a problem, you know who to call.
yeah, exactly. And so that's a lot of the hardscape. I guess retainer walls as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do the stack block retainer
Yes.
walls. I
Yes.
guess what is that called exactly when I say stack
So
block?
they
what
call
do
it,
call that?
they say it's SRW is the name. It's segmented retaining wall.
Okay.
That's a lot of your split face blocks, things like that. There's a lot of new products. Things keep getting bigger and bigger. A lot of the block now, they're trying to get larger scale blocks, so it
I know what you're
alleviates the
talking about.
manpower because we can use excavators to set the blocks. But then some of those got too big that now you need a larger machine, but they've gotten
Seen that.
better. And
One around a pool that we need to take photos of up in Benton, Calvert City, Kentucky, this year. When we get the pools opened up and all,
Yeah.
and it's pretty, and in the right setting, I think it's amazing. But it can be kind of industrial, overpowering in some
It could be.
situations, can it?
we try to make sure we do the least amount of retaining wall possible, because otherwise it can definitely be a lot of overkill. But a retaining wall is something that not everybody should just try to put in either. If some people say, "Well, I'll do my own landscaping."
Right.
That's fine. Plant your own shrubs. We can fix that. The retaining wall, when it falls over,
It's hard
it's a
to
mess.
Yeah.
And or if they build it wrong and it falls over, somebody gets hurt.
I just sold a pool in Benton, Kentucky, and the guy said, I priced him a retainer wall. Didn't want to do it, but he was like, we're gonna spend this. I thought, okay, well, just to be fair, I'm just gonna price it to you, and it's gonna be probably a little bit high. And they said, I'll do it myself. And then once we got the pool done, he said, I got somebody else to do that.
Right.
So, and he's doing the right thing, and he's a hard-working guy, and he could probably got it done. However, there's been that spot that bothered him to the end of time that
Right.
even made him wish that he'd have done it himself got it done by a professional instead of.
Well, there's certain specs you need to follow. That's an engineered
Yeah,
plan there.
I've often tried to do. I've on an earlier podcast I mentioned I've owned 5 homes, and I've tried to save money with different landscaping of my own on so many times, and it was every single time a bad idea.
Right.
every time.
Yeah.
And it was something different every time. I'm going to plant shrubs.
Right.
And I follow all the instructions, look at the right zone, and I'm like, okay, these are going to be
Right.
hardy. You can't kill these, and they're dead before they get in there. I'm like, how does that work?
Right.
So I applaud you guys for being able to do all this.
Well, and just because the tag says it'll grow doesn't mean, we use them. We try new plants. They don't work. We quit using those.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just.
You've
it's
had
time,
that trial and
experience.
error. And,
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're fine.
What I was going to say is if a customer comes, if I say these guys are the landscaping guy, and they don't know what they want, do you guys sit down with them and
We sit down, we measure the job, we have a full 3D design plan, so they're going to know what they're getting before we start. The 3D helps make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Because it is hard for them to visualize sometimes.
Do you charge for a visit and for plans?
So not for the initial site visit, and the first plan is free. If they want to make changes, then we have to take a deposit because I want to know that it's going to go farther.
Oh,
Sure.
Now an extensive plan, we may, but I mean, as far as a basic one, we don't charge for that.
I've had some landscapers before that wouldn't even come out and talk to me without $100 down.
Well,
and it's non-refundable. You pay them $100 just to come out, look at your yard, and talk to you.
And if everyone would do that, we would too.
Right.
But there's too many of them that don't, and I've got too many in my area that if you tell the customer, hey, I need $500 for this design, well, I don't really need a 3D that bad. The next
Right.
guy's going to do it for free.
Yeah.
So we'll come take a look. And sometimes maybe that's not the best answer. Some people,
Right.
a lot of companies say you definitely should charge. I look at it as if they're calling us, they probably know who we are.
Right.
We have a good shot at it. So why not go with that? But if they start making extensive changes,
Right.
I just need a little bit to know
Sure.
that, hey, guys, I'm not going to redraw
And
this
that's
6
fair.
times. We want to know you're going to do something.
I'm not going to say it was your drawing. It very well may have been because it was a drawing from this area on a semi-in-ground pool, and they did the hardscape around the back. Have you ever done any work around, or you know what a semi-in-ground pool is?
I have one, yes.
Oh, okay. Good
Yes.
for you. And so what it looked absolutely drop dead. That their work was like, if we can get a pool, so a semi-in-ground pool to look like this, we're going to sell a lot of these things. So the drawing, I'd be interested to know what your software is, because we have a thing called Pool Studio
Right.
that some of our salespeople use, and would you, because
So-
I had a really good pool drawing
Right.
from a
So
landscape.
we use Unilock pavers, or one of the higher end pavers, and they have a program. We purchased that. It was an inexpensive program, and that's why we started with it. But it's got all the graphics. They update it all the time. Works great, easy to use,
Right.
and that's what we go with. The only thing is, if we don't use a Unilock paver, we have to explain to the customer that, hey, we're using another brand.
Yeah.
It's going to look close. But I try to remind them too that it's still a 3D. In real life, it's going to be close, but it's not
Right.
exact.
Right.
And
it's also a free D.
Right.
It's
And-
3D drawing.
And we
It's
also
3D.
explain to them too,
free.
on the job, my salesman will be the one drawing everything up. But as far as the layout on the job, I'm on every job. Maybe not till the finish, but I will be there.
Nice.
And if it doesn't look right, it might look good on paper, but if it doesn't look right in real life, we're going to change it. And I
Right.
mean, I'll let them know. Most of our customers just say, run with it, we trust you.
Right.
But if you have 8 plants in this area and it only needs 7,
Yeah.
we're going to take one out.
You know, I have some people around where we come from that want a rock waterfall. We're running into their pool. And I first thing I do if they want me to do is I'll guarantee they're going to hate it. And I guarantee that I'm going to hate it because I don't have that skill set to build a rock waterfall. I have yet to figure that out. I would love to figure that out because a lot of people love that. And, you know, and the materials are not ridiculous. And the water is returning from the pool.
Right.
So there's just not but there's an art form to that. Do y'all do? you
So
guys
we
do
have
that?
done some. I would like to do more, but that if you don't do it every day, you don't get that special. You know, we've done so many paver patios. That's kind of been our niche, and the landscaping.
Right.
The water features takes a lot of practice and trial and error because
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
you can't design it until you get your rocks there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
every rock is different. And then you also have to take into consideration things are going to settle. No matter
Right,
what you do, they might only settle an eighth of an inch, but if that one rock at the bottom settles an eighth of an inch,
Right.
the whole thing has shifted.
Anytime I've ever done it, I've made the homeowner tell me what they wanted and tell me if they like it, and they stay there. They stay there with me the whole day that
Absolutely.
we do it, and I still hate it.
Right.
But they love it, and that's all that really matters. But,
That's right.
and you know, another thing, I don't know if you've done enough of it to know this, but water wants to go everywhere but where you want it to go.
Right.
Absolutely.
It lands flat. So we do things like we will cut when we know the landing rock, the last rock that's going to go, we will get under the rock and cut a V in it.
Yes.
We'll come back. You do that?
So we did a spillway from a sun ledge. The company, they wanted travertine bullnose all around the top of the sun ledge,
Okay.
and then they wanted that for the waterfall.
Right.
And first time we ever did it,
Yeah.
we put a piece of bullnose on there, and then they filled the pool, and it rolled back. So then we had to lay on top of the sun ledge over the pool, grind off that to a straight edge, and then grind out from underneath.
Yeah.
It was a learning experience that
Yeah.
But-
So I had a grotto. It looked pretty good. It's on some of our pictures in the website
Yeah.
and all that stuff. You know, kind of like the Hugh Hefner. Not really, but look. And I sloped the rock. I know you people. We're talking shop. Give me a break. But I sloped the rock 2 inches in about 4 or 5, 6 feet. Right. So we had a 2-inch slope on it, and the water would fall off, and 99% of it or more would go straight into the pool, but some would cling, and it would go uphill. It would go uphill 18 inches and then drip down. That's what I'm saying. So the only thing I can think of that you could do is just cut the V in it. And so if you're under it, it may not look the greatest, but at least that's where its stopping point is. Surely to God, it's not going to go up in the V and back down and to keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just did one last fall in O'Fallon, and luckily we knew that going into it right away. That
Exactly.
Don't forget to cut that off of there.
It wants to go anywhere but in the pool. It's
Right.
like it
You
hates the
wouldn't think
pool.
it just roll backwards, but it goes
Yeah.
where you don't want
Backwards
it.
and uphill. Yeah, to a point. So
So there's people that make those ones that you see pre-packaged. You know, they've got it figured out.
They've got
We need to
something-
figure out how to take that
You're gonna
and
have to
blow
pay.
it up.
Right, but using the prepackaged and the man-made stuff doesn't last as long. The natural
Yeah.
stone is always
And
going
it
to
doesn't look right. Yeah.
It doesn't, especially when people are spending the money that they are on a backyard. They want that real look. They don't want it to look fake anymore. That they're dropping a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they want it to look great and have that wow factor.
Right. You know, several years ago, we haven't talked about landscaping so much, but several years ago, I unfortunately lost this beautiful boxer dog. And then this dog had gotten into the landscaping and all, and just kept everything tore all to pieces, whatever. After I lost him, I got all the landscaping fixed up. And then one day I came home, pulled up in the driveway. My garage door was up, and the garage door going back out to the pool was open. And then but I had this sidewalk going from up there out to the pool, but had this island of landscape and this tree and these plants and this lava rock and all. And I was looking through, and I could see my sheer descent waterfall going in. And at that time, I thought, you know, a dog is supposed to extend your life, you know, that companionship is supposed to help you live longer or whatever they say. And I said, you know what? No, I don't know. When you got somebody else is mowing my lawn, and I'm going up to this beautiful landscape, and I'm looking through this landscaping over at this waterfall, this beautiful pool sparkling. I said, I think that might help you live longer, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, and so to that point, anytime that I'm in a backyard and the customer already has a patio, and sometimes that patio will be sloping in an odd direction, or it's a sidewalk that they don't know it's sloping. You can see it's sloping if you've been around it. And the pool's got to be level. We always try to incorporate that. But I still to this day will tell people that whole looking through landscaping to the water. Don't know if you know how you feel about that, but to me it just adds to the ambiance of a pool. And
It does.
So when you're out there, do you kind of walk people through that type of
Absolutely.
idea?
And yes, you give them Well, they got to know that you're passionate about it too. But you start throwing out different ideas, and they, it puts an idea in their head. But water is definitely a great backdrop for any project.
Yeah.
And I've had several people, the kids use their pool. The guys, I don't use it, but it's nice landscaping. They just look at it as that's part of their landscape budget.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We get a lot of pool owners. The man will eventually come around and, he say, well, I don't really want the pool and everything. But then after you talk to them a few months later, they'll say, you know what? I find myself just sitting around. It's like my thing to do. I'll go out in the evening and I'll dip the leaves or I'll just do whatever, check this. And it's soothing for them to do it. And they sit there and look at the pool without ever getting in it, and that's certainly didn't want to turn this to pools, but the whole environment that we create, kind of,
it's relaxing. It's your escape
together,
and you have a getaway every day.
Have you ever found yourself using landscaping to fix a problem with slope or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. So it's kind of tell us about what you've seen that that looks like a problem at the beginning, and what you've had to do to.
Well, a lot of times, especially along a house, or somebody adds their pool later. Well, that elevation, that depends. You're going to have where's your drainage from your house go?
Right.
They may have a gap between the pool concrete and the house. We may have to run drain lines, a French drain, just landscaping. My own house, I had that issue, and I put a dry creek bed through, but I laid rubber in the bottom so that way any rainwater would run away from there, but it still looks nice and decorative. It serves dual purpose.
Right.
A lot of times we actually have a pool right now, 25 years old. They're putting a new liner in. The concrete, some of it is buckled, draining water the wrong way. Well, they already have cool deck on it. They don't want to tear out all the concrete. We're going to cut out parts of it, put some curves to it, and then lay pavers up to it so it transitions. But we're going to try to make it look like it was supposed to be that way.
Exactly.
So we may cut out, several yards of concrete, but we don't want to just cut one square out. We want to make it look like we planned all this.
And I love that. I love that you say that.
Right.
Anytime
Well, the cost that it would take to redo the entire pool deck and the sidewalks, if we can transition this, plus give them, they still want another 400 square feet of seating area.
Right.
So now we can make it look like we planned on this from the get-go. It goes a long way.
A good contractor does that. We've gotten to the pools have gotten to the age now to where there's the refurbished business, the remodel business is that. And a lot of times there's exterior steps that are fiberglass, and it's a vinyl pool. We want to bring the steps inside. So my number one objective is to figure out how to make that happen. There's several ways to make that happen, but have you seen the? And I know you have, but I'm just going to bring this up. Have you ever done a deck with pavers that are L-shaped, where they will cover? Say, if you have an aluminum coping, for the world that doesn't know, that it's that white strip that goes around the top of the pool that a liner will lock into, that's an L shape, and it covers the aluminum, but it doesn't get in the way of the liner.
So I have not seen those.
You've not seen
so
that?
I have not. The pools we've done on a rehab like that, we'll take our bullnose paver, extend past that a little bit, and then typically some of them it didn't. You couldn't tell the difference after we got it done.
Right.
One couple did paint that aluminum coping just to hide it. We didn't get in. They may have them out there, but I did not get that far into it.
We find ourselves tearing that concrete out and pouring it at different. But I just let you know, I think it's Artistic Pavers.
Yes,
is the name of the company. Okay. And I can show you that if you're interested in that. But it's a pretty cool idea. I just. Anytime you raise the elevation of a pool deck, you got to look all around you and see what are you doing. Right. If you're doing anything, if you're going to do anything to kick water a certain way or whatever. So
absolutely, and then even just adding to that, you got to look. Well, you don't want to run water to the house, or you have to transition to a sidewalk.
Right.
There's a lot to it.
And for the pool guy, you got a skimmer that you got to raise, which is not a huge deal, and then you got ladder sockets that are. Still not a huge deal, but it all kind of changes when you do that.
The water slides, raising those that's the biggest hurdle.
Didn't think about that, but you got to do that too. Yeah,
and especially one we did 2 years ago. Their pool had been in there a while, so all the screws were rusted off.
Yeah.
So trying to cut those and not tear up the slide.
What did you do?
We ended up having to get a grinder underneath the slide cut them
So
off.
you raised it then?
We did raise it,
And
yes.
then you
Re-anchored
you,
everything.
you anchored it with redheads or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
So-
I got you. Yeah,
But-
and so on your you're planning that the things that you do, and it's like, is there a different any type of mulches? I know plants have been around for forever, but whatever they are. But
So what's typically around a pool, I try to put all rock in.
Right.
We don't try to get mulch. Most pools now, I've been trying to convince people that very, very few plants, maybe just a few small perennials around the pool. Keep all your privacy stuff outside the fence. Easier for cleanup.
Okay.
We don't use very many flowering plants because those petals end up in the pool. Just trying to eliminate the headache and the mess.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to spend their entire Saturday cleaning up their pool just
Right.
to swim in it for an hour.
So I'm gonna date. I said, plants have been around forever, but I know some gained popularity, and my sister had like 8 or 10 crepe myrtles all the way around their pool.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they would bloom and drop crap all day long, all summer long.
Right.
I mean, the beauty of a crepe myrtle to me is absolutely not worth it being around a pool within 20 feet of.
No, you want those on the outer edge of your lawn for privacy or something like that. And
So when and you know all of that, and
Yes.
so you can walk people through all of that to make it.
And a lot of that is we've learned by our mistakes over the years too.
Right.
Of we shouldn't have done that, and now it's less is more on that.
For sure.
A lot more, like I said, rock, boulders, keep it more natural, but less plantings,
Right.
and less maintenance.
Yeah. Got any questions for Craig?
You guys have lost me completely on a lot of the shop talk, so I'm just kind of soaking it up and learning. And
Yeah. Right.
most of my questions are dumb stuff. Like I was going to ask, like every time we put the wood chips out. See, I don't even know. I'm like wood chips, not even calling it the right thing. Mulch.
Yes.
out in front of what makes it disappear? Why does it go away?
It just rots away. It's just rotting.
rotting.
It's rotting true
Okay.
bark, and
So it's not like
a lot of it blows away.
small birds
If
picking it up and flying it away.
No, but if it's rotting, it's blowing away. The rain washes it away, so you have
Gotcha.
to freshen it up each year.
I could ask the same thing about this river rock that I have in
Now-
front of my house. Like,
I don't know how that disappears.
Yeah,
but-
that too.
No.
Like I've had rock
but am I
that
wrong?
no,
It goes into the ground, doesn't it?
well, no, because your weed barrier is going to hold it in. It just shifts and it's
Like packing a thing of ice, or a
Right.
cup of ice or something. You
things
can
just
make it.
move. It shifts, and you end
don't
up
know.
with
So rubber mulch wouldn't.
rubber mulch will blow away and it will float,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it gets very hot.
I see.
So
So not a good idea.
not a great idea. Not with all the hype that they actually say. It's really not as good as what they say.
Okay. All right. No, that's good to know.
Right.
Thought I solved a problem.
No, that's a great question. Man. We have a little pine straw and a rock, and that rock just drives me crazy because it's not supposed to go anywhere. It's not
Right.
And I just assumed that the residue in the water from a rain that got in there might just kind of make the dirt come up around it and over.
Some of that.
Maybe some of that, but toward the middle, I've got it kind of blocked where water won't get there. That absolutely makes me lose my freaking mind because I got to get out there and fix it up for my wife every summer.
If you think about it, though, like there was one house I bought that the landscaping was gorgeous when we bought it. But it's not like the former homeowner. Like she was kind of all about, she would spend every Saturday. It was her hobby.
Right.
Well, if you don't do what she did on a regular basis, nature will reclaim itself.
Absolutely. It's like anything. If you want to do all that, we can make a landscape very low maintenance. If you want all that work, that's fine.
Yeah.
Most people do not.
I did not want all that work, but my wife wanted me to have and want all that work.
Well, yeah.
So-
I want to meet the person that says, Early, I want to work on this every weekend because I think they need to come work for us and burn off some of that energy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can put them to work.
Well, a lot of them say they want it, and then after a few years, they really regret it.
I could imagine. So, when life has gotten so busy, that's
Absolutely.
the absolute last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Is go work on anything because that's all I do.
Well, and that's why everybody wants a pool and a backyard oasis because you don't have time to run here and run there. You need that in the back. You need to be able to sit down and relax.
And it
To be fair, it could be. There are some things like mowing. There's a lot of people, myself included now, that enjoy getting out on a mower,
Not me.
listening to some music,
yeah.
and spending 2 hours thinking and just checking out.
We're the same person because we do it for a living
Right.
in a sense. you
Well,
know.
that's what everybody always asks me when I say I do landscaping. They say, "How's the mowing?" I don't know. I said I have a teenage son, but before that,
Yeah.
I used to hire someone to cut my own grass.
1,000,000,000%.
We don't do grass cutting.
It's a beautiful.
Oh, wow,
thing.
okay. Yeah.
No, that's a whole nother job. This landscaping and hardscaping are totally different from mowing and lawn care.
Yeah.
Some companies do it all, but that's more the service industry. Ours is
Good to
design
know.
build,
Yeah.
and I've learned that no one company can do everything. So you're better off picking what you enjoy and what you can specialize in, and
Specializing.
let the other guys do that.
That's right.
That's why we don't do landscape.
No, we don't. Yeah.
That's why I don't do pools.
Yeah. Then the electrical and the fence. I guess you
Right.
could. I guess you could package it all together, but
You're better off getting a good network of people. I've got fence guys I use. I've got
Yep.
electricians. It just, you find those guys.
And you
let
all
them
work
do-
together and-
let them
yeah.
do their job. I know what I can do.
Right.
I let them do what they can do. That's,
It supports a nice, healthy ecosystem.
it does.
well, and Jennifer here, her husband works at the local lumber company here, and she's well connected. She's been into the Home Builders Association, and she's all about that. She knows a lot of people. She sent me to you guys to get you to come down, so you
Right.
guys need to meet here in a little bit, and I'll introduce you to both the salespeople that work this area, and if we can work together on some projects. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
So the name of the business is Interior Creations.
Outdoor creations.
Outdoor Creations. I'm trying to. My glasses don't work that well, and there was a glare on the car.
being an absolute-
But this is Craig Peterson.
Petermeyer.
Petermeyer.
You want to retake this? Come on, man, do better.
All right, Craig Petermeyer from Outdoor Creations. And wait, hold on. Let me give him the whole.
Yeah.
Your outdoor living solution.
There you go.
How about that? And how can we reach you? What's your website?
I got to think about that one. I usually just get off phone.
Outdoor Creations
Landscapes.com.
Landscapes.com.
Yes, Outdoor Creations was taken when I lined it up,
Understand.
so we threw Outdoor Creations, Landscapes.com.
Gotcha.
There we go. And so this has been another. We appreciate you coming out, Craig. This has been another podcast from the Expo, the Aloha Pools and Spas podcast, deep dive podcast. Man, we've done like 8 of these today.
Right? Yeah, it's been a blast, man. I've enjoyed meeting everybody up here. And a
But
bunch
not
of
to
great
say you got
people.
the least of us. We're
I think we're getting better every time.
I
do
do
go.
too. Yeah.
Right.
So, but we appreciate you coming on, and
thank you
very much.
we hope that you do what we tell everyone to do, and that's dive safely.
Wow, we nailed that one. All right.